Hello, everyone. Sientir here with... Ooh, wow, I need more nourishment. Kingdom Come Deliverance. And I am going to poke around the inventory stuff a little bit. I got a giant pile of quests, and I want to see where everything is. So it would appear that I am in a different part of the map. There's a new DLC quest. I'm not sure what that's about. And I'm not entirely sure where things are. Okay, this map is quite large. I see. So here's places we knew. Boy, a lot of stuff happened last time. So here's Skalitz, Ravna, Talmberg. Angels grace this entire map. So we are way down here. Okay, so let's go see what's going on in the quest log. So we have Vengeance. Okay, so all quests. Vengeance. My home was destroyed, my parents and my sweetheart murdered. I fled like a coward and only survived by a miracle. And when I tried to do the right thing and at least bury my loved ones, I lost the last thing my father left me, the sword he forged for Sir Radzig. But I will never run again, ever. I'll find that bastard who led the raid on Skalitz and kill him. And I'll find that thieving rat who took my sword and run him through with it. Skalitz was raised by Sir Sigismund of Hungary's army, but the attack itself was led by a knight whose coat of arms was a shield with one half gold with 3 red bars and the other half plain red. He was the one who murdered my parents. It didn't take me long to find out who he was, because Sigismund's army also approached Talmberg and sent a negotiator to parley. It was him, and he even introduced himself by name. Markwart von Alitz. And I was helpless to do anything, but one day I will find him. So, we've got a goal. I have to find the guy who stole the sword from me. He goes by the name of Runt and has something to do with Zibshek from Skalitz. I think that's how you pronounce that, but I'm probably wrong. And avenge parents. Okay. Awakening. I woke up from bad dreams. Teresa, the Skalitz miller's daughter, was sitting leaning over me. It turns out it was she, together with Sir Robard and his men, who saved my life. Then she took me to Rattay, to Uncle Peshek's mill. They looked after me the whole time I was delirious and feverish. Teresa also lost everything and is now living at her uncle's mill. I may stay there if I wish, but I have a debt to settle. My treatment was not without cost. So, all the things I had on me into a trunk, and I have to go to Perkstein Castle to see Sir Radzig and tell him what happened. The Good Thief. Miller Peshek and his niece Teresa took care of me while I was at death's door. I owe them my life. I'd better have a word with Miller Peshek about the time I spent lying ill at his mill. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on. I am hungry, which makes sense. Bread rolls, please. Bunch of codex entries. Okay, so let's start with the obvious and eat some bread. Okay, that will help. Okay, I have a bunch of ancient maps. I don't know anything about these, but apparently, by virtue of fate and chance, I came into possession of this curious drawing. I should find out where it points and see what has the fortune bestowed on me and all amid all this desolation. Okay, so these are what these ancient maps are about. I have an apple. Let's take my apple. Let's take my bandages, Bianca's ring. I guess this bludgeon, bread, carrots. I don't know what this little black icon means. Some of this stuff needs some serious repair. Old boots, padded coif. These pretzels. I'll leave the poor quality arrows behind for now. Torch is a good idea. The gambeson. Grab those as well. I don't know what to do with these maps, but I'm going to grab them. I'll leave the rest of the stuff in this chest. It seems like this is... I believe this is a common chest. I see. So I cannot read right now. Let's... equip some stuff. Why are these carrots in two separate things? Because these ones are more fresh than this one is. That makes sense. Oh, okay. The splotch means that it's messy, I think. There we go. Eat some pretzels. Okay. So, cook item. Can I cook this carrot? I got a boiled carrot. Cool. I've also unlocked, like, infinite codex entries. I'm told I need to talk with you, Mr. Peshek.
My name's Henry. Thank you for taking care of me here.
My name's Peshek, and I'm the miller here. You've already met my niece, Teresa. She took care of you for 2 whole weeks while you were in limbo. And talking of you being at death's door, while you were lying here, you worked up quite a bill with the bloodletter, who came now and again to keep you alive with his potions. That quack doesn't come cheap. I paid him what I could, but I still, that is, you still owe him.
I see. Well, it's better to be in debt than to lie dead in a ditch. What do I owe? I'm not afraid of hard work.
You won't pay for that shoveling manure. I might have a better job for you. And it's not something any fool can do. If you prove to me you're a clever lad, I might trust you with something you could really make money from. What do you say?
What would you need from me?
Well, what would you need from me?
A trifle. Just to take something from someone and bring it to someone else. And not get caught while you're doing it.
That sounds straightforward enough. Except for not get caught. Why would anyone want to catch me?
Oh, don't worry. It's just a job like any other. Only this one requires, let's say, the right moral disposition. Do corpses bother you?
No honourable man should touch them. That's the executioner's job.
Did you expect I'd give you a hoe and send you out to the fields? You can dig all right, but somewhere else. I want to know whether you're going to hide behind some stupid fucking scruples, or if you might be useful for more unconventional work.
I mean, I'm not interested in unconventional work.
I'm not sure dealing with corpses is a job for me. I don't want that kind of stain on my conscience, or my reputation. Find someone else.
Suit yourself. I gave you a chance to work off your debt. Don't think you can wriggle out of it. I want my groschen back, and quick. Otherwise, I'll make your life hell. Believe me. Take care now.
Yeah, I believe you. Treasures of the Past, DLC activated. A legend is circulating in the province about stashes containing magnificent warhorse armor. Many people have searched for it, but in vain. With a little effort and the grace of God, perhaps you can succeed in finding the armor and donning it to assist you in fighting the good fight. The first part of the warhorse armor and 5 treasure maps will appear in your universal trunk after launching the main quest Awakening in Rattay Mill. You can access your trunk from any home or lodgings you have in the world. Tournament. The tournament convened by Sir Hanish takes place once every 7 days at Rete Upper Castle. The aim of the tourney is to test the skill of combatants with all kinds of weapons. It's intended for commoners, so you can enroll too. After completing the side quest Next to Godliness with Sir Hans, you can accept a new quest from him, which will launch an instance of the regular tournament. If you're not sure where to find him, look for the that icon. If you've already progressed in the storyline as far as epilogue, you won't be able to accept the quest from Capon, and the tournament will launch on its own. The tournament will not take place while Sir Hanush is at war. Okay. A Woman's Lot DLC activated. Teresa's story will be available to you once you launch the main quest Awakening. Then all you have to do is talk to Teresa in Rete Mill. You'll be led to her by icon. You can get a dog from Teresa at Rete Mill, but only after launching the main quest Awakening. A difficult fate awaits Johanka. Johanka? I'm not quite sure. To find out more about it, you must have completed the side quests Pestilence and In God's Hands, whether successfully or not. You will get to Pestilence from the main quest Questions and Answers, and God's Hands is assigned to you by Johanka, who is to be found at Sasau Monastery. Once you've completed those quests, all you have to do is visit Johanka again, where you'll be guided by Icon. Hi.
Have you eaten yet?
Yes, it was very good. Did you bake it yourself?
I did. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Well, that was enlightening. Okay, Okay, so I'm in a spot where I need... how's my... Okay. Decently... okay, I need to go talk to... Okay, Perkstein Castle. Yes, and talk there, so... That is going to be this icon. So I need to go that way. That's kind of to my left, it looks like. Hey, dog. I hear you. Alrighty. Well, let's go see what we can see then. How much money do I have on me? Do I even have any? It looks like I might not. I should equip this bludgeon for now. Not the best weapon, but any weapon's better than no weapon. I could also stand to wash my equipment, as it is all rather filthy. I'm not sure the ideal way of doing that just yet. I imagine I can find a wash tub somewhere, or something along those lines. I'm not sure if getting a horse would have been helpful or not. Somebody's farm. This is a really pretty game. It's a very clear sky. Looks like some clouds on the horizon. I had a lovely walk earlier today. That has no bearing on anything, but... Hi.
Good afternoon.
You're named.
What kind of governor is Sir Hanush?
Young Sir Hans is our governor, but Sir Hanush is his guardian till he comes of age. That's not a day I'm looking forward to.
I wonder why.
What's life like in Ratai?
Ratai, okay.
We got sturdy walls and 2 castles to protect us. There's not many towns have that. And we got everything we need here. We got an apothecary, a swordsmith, an armourer. We got a beautiful church and fine alehouses.
How do the Ratai folk get on with the refugees?
I know they got nowhere to go. Skalitz is a pile of ashes and the countryside ain't safe. But they've been here too long. Some of those buggers got light fingers, and not a one of them appreciates the sacrifices we made for them.
Have you heard anything about the Cumans in Sigismund's army?
Everywhere they go, they pillage, rape, and slaughter. Or so the tales have it. Of course, all armies do that. But them barbarians take pleasure in it.
I see.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for the info. Okay. So we need to make our way over this way. Yes, fast travel. On the map, you'll see all the places you can fast travel to, and just select where you want to go and confirm. I'm sure there's a little bit more to it than that, but... Hello, guards.
Halt! Who are you and where are you going?
I'm Henry, son of the Skalitz blacksmith. I'm going to see my liege, Sir Radzig Kabila of Dvoyitz.
Of course you are, lad, and I'm the Pope. What do you want from his lordship, and what makes you think he'll see you?
I mean... This one.
I may not look the part, but I know about honor and duty. And mine is to tell Sir Radzig what happened to the sword he commissioned.
All right, then. Go ahead. It'll be your skin if Sir Radzig isn't pleased.
Thank you, sir. I've discovered another camp. I don't know where he is. Well, that guard's not going to help me. Baron.
Hal! What are you doing here? I took you for dead.
Oh, it's a long story. But what about you? How did you get out of Skalitz?
You wouldn't believe it. A frightful storm broke that night, and Sigismund's heathens ran back to their camp. They never dreamed Sir Radzig would use the storm as cover for our escape. The entire village slipped away as quiet as mice while no one watched. In the morning, when those bandits attacked, all they found was an empty castle with an old goat inside. I wish I could have seen their faces.
So do I. You tricked them nicely. See you later.
Okay, well, nice to catch up with old friends, but, where is... You know what? My map might actually have indication. Okay, kind of more directly behind where I'm facing. Wait, what? Maybe? Now I'm confused. How does this map work? No, it says it's quest giver. Hi.
God be with you. What can I do for you?
What's life like in Ratai?
This is a manorial town, and our lord hasn't got himself tangled up in affairs of state, so it's peaceful here.
I see.
Take care.
Yep, you too. Okay, wait. Which way am I trying to go here? Oh, that way. I think I'm probably trying to go this way. Now I just need to figure out where... Well, hi. Can you gentlemen help me?
Could that be the smith's son, Hal?
On my soul, it is him. What are you doing here, lad? We thought you were done for.
Bandits attacked me in Skalitz.
And why, for God's sake, did you go back there? Who else but cutthroats and bandits did you expect to find?
I needed to bury my parents.
Oh, I see. Your father fought like a lion. I'm sorry.
He saved my life.
And not just yours. He was a good man, and you did right to bury him.
I didn't even manage that. I failed to save him or put him to rest.
And just what could you have done at Skalitz? If you tried to fight, the both of you will be dead. He gave his life for yours, Hal. So you'd better make good use of it.
You're right. And just what are you doing here?
I must speak with Sir Radzig. Is he here?
He's in the palace with Sir Hanush of Ratai. They're feasting in the Knight's Hall. What do you want with him?
My father made him a sword. He asked me to deliver it to Sir Radzig.
I don't see any sword.
No. Bandits attacked me and stole it. I need to tell his lordship what happened. And then I'm going to find the sword.
Of course you are, Hal. Good luck.
Thanks.
That cutscene got a little bit messed up by the NPC walking at me and pushing me out of the way. Well, I found the loo. Where's the feasting hall? Not that way, clearly. Well, my icon shows it's up the stairs. So let's go up the stairs. In here, maybe? Oh. Hey! Objective completed. Perkstein and see Sir Radzig. Excellent. Any moment now.
Your Graces, I have to tell you in all seriousness that this land of ours is in the shit. Deep fucking shit. Don't you agree?
I might not have put it as eloquently as you, Hanush, but I've been driven out of my own castle, so I'm hardly going to disagree.
Indeed. But Pirkstein is yours for as long as you need it. There's room enough for your men and you here at Rattay, and I'm sure my ward won't have any objection to me lending you his castle.
I'd be honored. Pirkstein is at your disposal as long as you wish, Your Grace.
Just as well you have another castle at the other end of town, eh? At any rate, I'm beholden to you, Sir Hans, and to you, Sir Hanush.
I don't like to speak ill of your people, Sir Radzig, but, well, there's no love lost between the townsfolk and the refugees. There's been talk of criminality.
No, they'll have to get used to it until the situation's resolved.
But when will it be resolved? And what on God's earth is this war even about? I won't lie, sir. I don't understand it.
You aren't alone, Father. I believe Sigismund's original intention was to persuade Wenceslas to accept the imperial crown and to leave the rule of Bohemia to him.
Who could blame him? I know Wenceslas is a friend of yours, Radzig, but even you have to admit he brought it upon himself.
I can't deny the king neglected affairs of state for other pursuits. There is a need for order in the land, but I don't think the lords who sided with Sigismund realized just what Hungarian order looks like.
Hungarian order.
What concerns me, sir, is how a good Christian could resort to such brutality.
To give him his due, I don't think he expected the lords of this country to stand behind the king. But thanks to him, we're tearing ourselves apart, and now he has to get things under control.
But why in God's name does he have to use those barbarians?
Money is the root of all evil, young sir. Wars are costly, and this one has dragged on for a year. Sigismund ran out of coin for knights, so he recruited those whore sons that settled in Hungary. The less he pays, the more they make up for it with plunder.
That's why he attacked us. He was after our silver.
What are you doing? You've no business here. Clear off.
Wait, it's Henry. Henry, who disappeared after I clearly ordered him to remain at Taumberg.
I'm sorry, sir, but I had to bury my parents.
Had to? Do you think you were the only man who lost someone there? But the others listened to their lord.
And it wasn't just your own life you nearly threw away. So Robard and his men risked theirs to save you.
I'm sorry, but I had to.
Oh, there you go. When you have to, Radzig.
Your father was a remarkable man, and your mother, she was remarkable too. They deserved a Christian burial. Did you manage that at least?
No. I was attacked by thieves. I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for that girl.
Girl?
The miller's daughter, Teresa.
The miller's daughter saved you from the footpads? Well, there's a tale to tell your children.
I owe her my life. She distracted them and then brought me to Rattay. But without Sir Robard, we'd both be dead.
Oh, that's what I call a good woman. Hang on to that one, lad.
Still, It's a great shame your parents are buried in unconsecrated ground. That means purgatory for them.
Be quiet, Friar. I didn't invite you here to eat me out of house and home and deliver a sermon while you were doing it.
If you're so concerned, Father, maybe you should save the innocent souls of these fine Christians yourself. Go to Skalitz and consecrate their graves. I assure you, if you're killed by bandits, your soul will soar straight to heaven, as long as someone buries you in consecrated ground first.
If there's anything left to bury, that plump carcass of yours would be quite a feast for the wolves and the crows. And one skeleton looks much like another, so how would we know which were your ordained bones or those of Sigismund's Tartars?
Be that as it may, why have you come here?
I must get your sword back.
Sword? My sword hangs here at my side.
No, the sword my father forged for you. One of those thieves stole it from me.
They almost killed him and he already wants to go back.
Takes after his father, I suppose. Lad, I've lost a castle, a village, silver mines, and a good half of my subjects. Why would I miss one sword?
Because it's the last one my father forged, and I promised him I'd deliver it to you.
I understand. I'd feel the same way. But prudence is the better part of valor, and a dead man keeps no promises.
Aye. The woman had to save his fat from the fire, and now he wants revenge. What kind of fool are you, boy?
He's no fool. Henry, you have courage, but you need training, arms, a horse. Or do you mean to beat this thief at dice?
No, sir. Please, take me into your service and give me the chance to learn these things.
The gall of him. Fled from the enemy, disobeyed your orders, duped Sir Divish, lost your sword, put Sir Robard in danger with his actions, and now he wants a promotion.
Sir Capon's right.
What you say is certainly true, except for fleeing the enemy. You would have run as well, believe me. Henry's earned some punishment, but how do you punish someone who's already lost everything, Courage and blind obedience are good qualities for a soldier, but a wise man also appreciates loyalty, perseverance, and determination. Besides, that was a fine sword that his father made. If he thinks he can get it back, I won't turn it down.
My lord, he's a peasant. You can't make a squire of a peasant.
Why not? Someone made a priest of a pig.
He isn't a peasant, Father. He's a blacksmith, and recent events have left me in need of his skills. So, you'd like to enter my service?
Sir, Yes, I would. You won't regret it.
I probably will. I'm doing this for your father, lad. Don't disappoint me.
Oh, fortune has finally smiled on you today, lad. Make the most of it.
Now that I think about it, Sir Hanush, the boy needs training and experience, and you need spear carriers.
That's true. The bailiff is always complaining about your people making trouble in the camp. Maybe one of their own among the guard might help.
It might. In any event, it will prove valuable experience.
But let's be clear. You're the one paying him. Captain Bernard, see to his training, and then send him to the bailiff.
Yes, sir.
And don't spare him.
You can rely on it, sir.
Don't forget, Henry. Don't disappoint me.
I won't, my lord.
I mean, I'll try not to. It's definitely interesting. It's a very different setting than what I usually experience in games, so I'm quite enjoying the very different flavor. Like, even stuff that's set in a historical period like Assassin's Creed has an incredibly different flavor than what this has. Okay, there's the thing there. Train hard, fight easy. Okay, well, I have a bunch of quests to get started with, but I think I might need to be starting those next time. So we'll go ahead and do that then, and let's finish out this episode actually by reading a few of these vast quantities of codex entries, shall we? Feudalism. Feudalism is a political system based on land ownership, which originated in the early Middle Ages and followed on from the decline of the Roman Empire. Its foundation was the fiefdom, a certain area, territorial land, that the owner lent out to others. The ruler, either secular or religious, was the natural feudal senior, suzerain, sovereign liege, and those allocated his fiefdoms were his fiefs or vassals. The handover itself came with pomp and ceremony, during which the vassal promised allegiance and military aid or other services to his feudal lord. The contract could be rescinded only by the death of one of the parties or in the case of a material infringement. Not only could the liege have several vassals, but a vassal could have several liege lords. In the event of a war, one had to choose side by one's contractual tenor. Feudalism also determined the relations of the poorest class, the serfs, who worked on the least land, paid dues out of what they made from it, and provided for their master, his soldiers and officials, or for a monastery. It was called a quit rent, a source of wealth mainly for the nobility. Portions of the lands were subleased, so the king's vassal, in turn, became the liege lord of his own vassals. Greetings. The basic form of greeting was bowing, with numerous variations depending on the occasion and the mutual status of the participants. A light bow with the hand on the heart would befit two noblemen of equal rank. A deeper bow was a more respectful greeting, to a guest or someone of higher standing. The next level was to kneel on the left knee and bow the head in deference to rulers, barons, or high-ranking commanders, and it expressed allegiance. The person would have to remain in this position until invited by the superior to rise. The most subordinate level was to bow while down on both knees, an expression of complete subjugation, often combined with a plea, typically for mercy. Doffing headwear was a practice that came in with Burgundian fashion in the 15th century. Loyalty was expressed by kissing the rings of magnates and prelates. It was not proper to kiss the hands of ladies, but they were given a deeper bow than their social rank alone would elicit. Okay, so that sort of thing was introduced later, or perhaps even apocryphal. Particular forms of salutation also applied when addressing a certain person, e.g. in writing. For example, a townsman was to be addressed as honest, a baronet as esteemed, and a titular lord as highborn. In the countryside, people greeted each other according to their nature, often mentioning in the greeting wishes of good health, prosperity, and God's blessing, or making reference to Christian tradition, God blessed, Christ be praised, etc. Guilds and crafts. Medieval town society was made up largely of craftsmen and merchants who ensured its socioeconomic growth. Based on their freeman rights, they could exercise their craft and had the right to market. In addition to privileges such as the protection of and support for the town's operation, healthcare, and food provision, it was their duty to pay taxes on every sale or transport of goods outside the town limits. In essence, the status of the municipality was dependent on them, hence it was important that they did not relocate and ply their trade elsewhere, passing their occupation on to following generations. In the space of 1 century, several craftsmen of the same profession would be active in a town. These artisans gradually began to form themselves into groups with political and economic rules, or members' guilds. They had their seals of office and pennants bearing the guild crests granted by the monarch. Each member of a guild had the support of the others, and they all agreed on prices and the regulation of sales, and the rules for apprenticeship and discharging their duties. No one without guild membership could trade in goods. Heraldry. Heraldry is the doctrine of characters and symbols depicted on coats of arms, governed by fixed rules, and the relevant know-how was privy to nobles and knights. It was a necessity because Europe of that time had so many noble families that they simply could not be memorized. By applying heraldic symbolism and rules, however, the wearer and his dynasty could be identified from his battle pennants and coat of arms. Simplified heraldic symbolism was also used on the arms and equipment of urban militias and the attire of soldiers of a feudal lord. So basically, the heraldry was a code that could be understood in order to be able to identify basically who was related to whom. Boy, there's a lot here, isn't there? Let's go ahead and look at some events, maybe. The sacking of Skalitz. The sacking of Skalitz. Little is known about the war in 1402 to 1403, when Sigismund invaded Bohemia and tried to seize power, and the records that do exist are fairly vague. However, we do know the fate of Skalitz. Silver Skalitz, which was burned to the ground on 23rd March 1403. We know the exact date because a document was preserved that Sigismund signed that day in the siege camp. Sigismund undoubtedly chose Skalitz because silver was mined here, and the town was administered by the royal hetman, Racek Kobyla, a supporter of the king. Sigismund apparently wanted to disrupt the flow of money going to the Wenceslas. According to legend, Kobila and his people, who were hiding from the attackers in the castle, were able to escape because of a great storm that blew up and forced the besieging army to wait until morning to take the castle. The castle defenders took advantage of the opportunity and, under the cover of darkness, fled to nearby Rattay. In the morning, the only thing Sigismund's men found in the empty castle was a goat. This is also in the game. Sigismund then razed the town and the castle to the ground, and the castle was never rebuilt. Today, only the foundations remain. Let's see. And we've got a couple of new characters here. So we have the Ronov family. One of the oldest and most notable of Czech aristocratic dynasties. The family expanded into numerous branches over generations, such as the Lords of Dauba, Burka, the Lichtenbergs. Well, that doesn't have vowels where I want them. Grisnitz of Ronau, and so on. In the 13th and 14th centuries, the family split into the Lords of Lipa, the Lichtenbergs, the Lords of Dauba, the Lords of Klingenstein, and more. The oldest known member of the dynasty was the late 12th century Smil Svetlik of Tuhon. His descendants carried high office at the royal court, thus acquiring considerable tracts of land, from which they acquired the family name, from Ronau in the Zatowa region, in the Nis River Valley in present-day Poland. Ronau Castle, of the same name, south of Kaska Lipa, was built only at the end of the 14th century. The Ronau family is represented by one of the KCD characters, Hanish of Lipa. Sir Hanish of Lipa, unknown to 1415. Following the death of Gindric III of Perkenstein, Henry III of Perkenstein, in 1402, Hannes of Lipa, in KCD Hanish of Lipa, became the guardian of the former's son, Jean Tasek, in KCD Hans Capon, and thus the acting governor of the surrounding province. He completed the construction of Perkstein and its fortifications and the local church of St. Matthew, which contains a shrine to his family. When Sigismund of Luxembourg invaded and burned Skalitz, the town's burgrave, Radzik, Kobila, and the survivors of the raid found refuge with Hannes. Hannes subsequently took action against scattered groups of brigands in Cumans. His relationship with the king was peculiar to say the least, judging by often contradictory sources. It appears that in 1410, crown forces descended on the town of Rattay in Hannes' domain, probably after he became a robber baron and rebel, who may also have participated in the siege of Jilava in Moravia. Nevertheless, in 1414, he became a provincial marshal and dwelt together with his wife, Marketa of Sternberg, at Spielberg in Bernal. Man, I do not know how to pronounce Eastern European words at all. They have far too few vowels for my understanding of how to pronounce words. Anyway, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up here, I think, for realsies. So until next time, everyone, take care and goodbye.